Hey guys, welcome back to Sabers Forever. I'm John, and today we're going to be going over a KRSabers CrossGuard. This guy is so cool, I can't even stand it anymore. Lightsabers are they're just like how... The fact that this amount of detail exists for the price that it is amazing. So I just can't even... the words, they don't come to me. So why don't I just show you? Without further ado, let's just jump right in and I'll show you what's going on. Alrighty, so KRSabers CrossGuard. This is probably the most accurate crossguard on the market, and it's not only beautiful, but it's also really lightweight. It really doesn't weigh anything. The engine inside and at the top here and the engine at the bottom are actually cast plastic or vacuum formed. It's not vacuum formed, it's injection molded. That's what it is. Let's go through all the processes before we get to the right one. So they're injection molded plastic to get all these fine little details. Honestly, it's worth it because you're never going to shove your finger in here. You really gotta in order to even interact with it. And they're painted to look like metal, and they look beautiful. They're really awesome parts. So the other thing I'd like to note aesthetically about this is these blue wires I left loose at the top. So the red wire in here at the engine's epoxied at the bottom. These blue wires are epoxied at the bottom. And this red wire is split right here because the saber opens from this section you pull it down, but we'll get to that in a second. So anyways, these wires I left loose at the top. And that's because there's a slot right here, and right here. And for whatever reason, I just figured it would be good to be able to give the customer the option in order to move these. So if they wanted, sometimes it changes scene to scene, or maybe they wanted it to look a certain way, but this is how I'm familiar with it, so I'm sending it like that. This is your power, this is your auxiliary, and then there are 3 NPXL V2s in this saber, with which the bleed retention screw for the main bleed is right here. I'd like to also say there's nothing quick about this saber. It's pretty big, and there's a lot of stuff that you need to do in order to use it. So you've got 3 blades. So you're going to have 3. This set screw, not this one. This set screw is for the bleed. This is for your NPXL holder. And same on this side. So you've got 3 blade retention screws. You've got 3 emitter blade plugs. These are not tight, I would say, but you got to definitely help them out. And then when you get all these out, you can stick your blades in. Doopy doopy doop. And I don't like to ever torque these blade plugs in. I literally just stop as soon as I feel any resistance at all. I'm also going to send this Allen wrench because this is the actual size of the set screws for this saber that are normally here, but this one came after I did the whole install and I go to close it up and try it out. This was stripped already, so I just tapped it to the next size and ordered a screw that was as close as I could to these. So it's just a button head with a hex slot. So I'm going to send this Allen key with this. The purpose of this set screw, though, is that this bottom comes off. It's a J-lock system, so you only need to take it out about that far. You can remove it completely if you like, but you don't have to. If this twists, you've achieved your goal because you unlock it, and there's the hole. Oh, dirty. Here's the hole that threads into. And then these are the J-locks that seat and position the bottom accurately. So there is a screw here and a screw here on both sides. This gets pushed up and twists shut, and then you would reseat this and lock in your set screw. But this comes off completely. And then you have your Proffieboard, your 18650, your 28mm bass speaker. You have a kill switch right here. And then I also drilled a hole in the back here because it's not impossible, but it's a little difficult to get the battery out. So with the Allen wrench that goes with that screw, you can just shove this in here and boop, there it is. Pops right out real easy. and then you can charge this in a removable battery charger. So battery in, turn the power on. I'm also just going to put the blades in right now. So I'll close this up first, obviously. Doop. And this, you can make this as tight as you want. It's going to stop. It's on aluminum. Whoop.
Battery. You're still holding on.
Forgot the saber was on. So, all right. Now, let's get these. So these are the Quillians. These guys I installed some Neopixels into. They have the stock connectors, so everything's stock. I always use SCW connectors. You'll see, it's probably hard to see on camera, but right here on one side, it says 7/8, because that's what this accepts, is a 7/8 blade, and this is a 1-inch blade. The 7/8 logo is my indicator to you as to the direction of the Neopixel strips. So if you face this sideways every time, it doesn't matter what orientation, if it's that way or this way, the Neopixels will be facing this way in the blade. So try your best. The other thing I'd like to note is this is gummy. You can see that. It's gummy. So when you tighten these blade retention screws, they don't feel like they're hitting anything. So just take note as to, how far you're really pushing it. And if your Quillian doesn't light up, it's either not pushed in far enough or you've got the torque too much on this screw. So you can test it. That works great. I'm going to put this one in. So find your 7/8, face it the way you want, shove it in as far as it'll go. Like, you really want to push, because remember, this is a tight fit up here, and you just want to push and make sure that it's definitely seated, and then tighten your blade retention screw. That's probably more than enough. Test that. And see, I knocked this. You really need to make sure they're in there. So just make sure they're in. You can always tighten the set screw more. But there we go, so that's good. But something that's really hard for me to show that I'll demo later is when the saber blade, the main blade, is pointed up, all 3 blades will turn on at the same time. So you can see this blade turns on. They all turn off at the same time as well, always. But all 3 turn on. Now, if you face the blade downward, you'll notice if you watch here and then the blades, this will ignite first. And then this will ignite. So you get your delayed Quillian ignition by facing the blade down. You can also gesture, just like the movie. And yeah, it's one of my favorite features for this saber. I'm going to just put the blade in real quick. Now, the blade also, you can get a good visualization of the blade depth, but this is how far down the blade will go in. This also has the stock NPXL connector, and this has the proplicator. These are proplicator parts. This is a proplicator sleeve, and they're all just 3D printed by him. They're really nice. This is a very snug fit, so just push her in, and then hold the pressure down, because this will probably resist a little bit with these springs. And then tighten your blade retention screw. You don't want it to be too tight, but obviously you don't want to send your blade flying. Doop. All right. And then now, let's see. I can actually probably get this on camera here. So all 3, so it's facing up. And now tilt the blade down. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That works. Now, there's 2 other fonts on here. It's Luke, Rescue, and Thunder God. So,
Are you a Jedi?
I just programmed these. This just all turns on at the same time. You get some Quillian blast, like flicker. And then Thor, Thunder God. So you get here, I'm going to back this up a little. You can see what it's doing. So everything comes in and then blasts out, and then when you turn it off, it all separates out. And you get the flickering while the blade is active. Super cool. Really, really love that. And that is honestly the full function of the Saber. With the blade in, though, battery level will display the charge of the battery. So the higher up on the tip, it'll be green, and then it's blue, and then it'll turn like a white, and then go orange, and then finally red. And then your Saber is going to be really unhappy and want you to charge it. So, you know, listen to its warnings.
You're still holding on! Let go!
But yeah, so then when you're done with the Saber, obviously you can keep it on display with the blades in if you like, or do whatever you want. But the Saber doesn't have deep sleep. This is a Proffi V2.2, so just always when you're ready to just stop using it, I mean, you can leave the battery in if you want, but it's just going to slowly drain. So I don't think I took that out far enough. Yeah. Doop, doop. And then you don't have to take the battery out, but you need to hit the kill switch. So you turn the kill switch off, you're good to go. You could even at this point take the battery out and throw it in a charger. But yeah, actually the chargers, they look like that. And then this comes out. I'll just show you real quick. And then this goes in like this, if I can do it with one hand. And then it'll light up and start charging, and it'll show you the charge. So this is a KRSabers smart charger. These guys, I'm going to turn other lights on so you can see it turn on. But that's what it looks like while it's charging, and it won't overcharge. It'll just display that the battery's full, and it'll stop doing this animation. And as the animation, as the battery charges, the animation bars slowly stop recharging the full battery. It shows you how it's doing. So obviously it always starts over with a fresh charge, but I think after a while it'll figure it out. It checks the voltage again. So that's that. And then power, positive always goes up. So nipple up. And then you're good to go. So let's close that back up. Do that. Turn this off. Put that in there. And there you go. KRSabers CrossGuard. Alright guys, that does it for this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe. There's going to be plenty more KRSaber installs coming. I know that the next ones are going to be the Thrawn Hunter and Ray Scavenger ECO Chassis kits. So those are shipping very soon, and then not too long after that, Master Chassis. So if you're excited to see those, definitely like and subscribe. And if you have a commission that you'd like help with, or if you'd like to reach out and have a commission quoted, just reach out at john@sabersforever.com, and I'd be more than happy to help you light up and give sound any prop you like, honestly. Like, I'm working on a Millennium Falcon right now that's going to be driven by a Proffieboard. Not driven, but lights and sound, Bluetooth, all that. There's some really great things that Proffieboard is capable of, and honestly, this one, these new OS 6 features, like the fact alone that we can now get dual ignition whenever we, or I'm sorry, delayed ignition whenever we want, with matching audio, I mean, Saber Tech has really come a very, very, very long way. So until the next time I'm ranting, may the Force be with you.